I just have to say, that's the first time I've had to follow a Ford, and one that was so banged up.
Hey, thank you for sharing a dressing room with the mayor tonight.
Well,
we appreciate it.
He threw up all over it, so those are the chances you take.
How are you? You're over at the Oscars? You came right over here?
I'm very well. I had a very good time. I thought Ellen did a terrific job.
I think so, too. I think she did. And it seemed like a loose kind of a fun environment.
It was. She ordered pizza. I got a piece of pizza. It was awesome.
Yeah, you even you participated in the photo bombing there.
I did.
Tonight.
I did.
Well, actually,
cool.
a selfie. It was supposed to be.
It was a selfie, and from what I understand, it broke Twitter.
It did. Twitter was disabled temporarily because of the
Apparently,
selfie.
it was the most retweeted selfie in the history of Twitter. 1 million people retweeted it in an hour.
That's right. It would be. And I think you might be more excited about that world record had it not been held by a Kardashian. Do we have that selfie? Do we have the photograph there? I have it right here if we don't. This is what you guys, that's the photo you took. And
oh, look, there I am.
You kind of popped in there in the background.
I kind of photobombed it, actually. I think we should try one. I think we should do our own selfie and see if we can't maybe top it.
We can beat it? All right. Should I?
Maybe we should do that. We'll tweet that.
Yeah, tweet that and see what happens. You won the Oscar 2 times. What do you remember most? What's in your head from those wins?
You know, it goes by so quickly. Part of it's in slow motion, and then when you hear your name called, and I remember going up on stage and literally thinking, like, I wasn't talking English. Like, the words that were coming out of my mouth would make no sense. And later on...
Like John Travolta tonight. Did you see that? He tried to introduce Idina Menzel, and
what did he say?
He said, Azababzaza. I think...
Well, imagine what it would be like if he won an Oscar.
Yeah, right. we got to make sure that never happens.
Never should happen. No, and I got up on stage, and in fact, when I watched it later, because at the hotel they were showing all the clips, so I actually got to see what I said, and I was right. I made absolutely no sense whatsoever. But when I won for American Beauty, I remember no, actually, it was for Usual Suspects. I got up, and thank goodness what they do is they have the previous winner of the previous year, the actress. So in my category, I was Best Supporting Actor for Usual Suspects. Diana Wiest is a wonderful actress. Bullets Over Broadway. She's great. She's won. And so she knew what I was going through. And I sort of talked, thanking whoever I thanked. And then I got off stage, and I literally remember the room was spinning. And she said, get him a chair, sit him down, get some water, breathe, just breathe, breathe, breathe. And I remember sitting down, and oddly, here's the funny thing, you just said John Travolta, because I remember the room was going like this, and I remember I finally sat down, and all I saw was John Travolta, who was about to go out and probably mumble. That year as well, and she was so great to have gotten me calmed down before they sent me to the press room.
Oh, that is very sweet of her.
And then the second time with American Beauty, I remember that I had thanked Jack Lemmon in my acceptance speech because Sam Mendes and I, in some degree, based the character of Lester Burnham, a sort of an arc of that character, on Jack's extraordinary performance in The Apartment, which is one of the great films of all time. So I called Jack. Now, Jack had won an Academy Award in 1955 for Mr. Roberts, and then he won again in 1973 for Save the Tiger. And so I called Jack after I dedicated my Oscar to him. And he said, you're a son of a bitch. I said, why? He said, I won my first Oscar in 1955. It took me 18 years to win it. The second one, you did it in 4 years. You son of a bitch.
That's a great impersonation. Did you ever do that for him, that impersonation?
Well, actually, I did, and then on Saturday Night Live, I did it. We did this never-before-seen screen tests from Star Wars. And so I auditioned as Chewbacca as Jack Lemmon. Can someone tell me what the hell one of these walkie things is? These Wookiees?
Would you ever think about, is hosting the Oscars something you would agree to do if they asked you to do it?
It would be great fun.
You would like to do it?
Yeah, I think it'd be great fun. I'd love it, sure.
I think, you know, because your Jack Lemmon is similar to your Johnny Carson, I think, is
Well, he was one of the great hosts of all time.
Of course,
without
yeah.
question.
Yeah, sure.
You want to see a little Johnny?
Yeah, do a little Johnny for us.
Okay, look. No, this is exciting. We just had the Oscars, as you know. Live on ABC. And the big picture tonight was, I didn't see it. It's called 12 Years a Slave. I assume it was about my first marriage. And, of course, another picture, Gravity, did very well tonight. For those of you who have not seen that picture, it's about Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, stars two astronauts who are sucked into a black hole where nobody can hear you. And in Hollywood, we call that CAA.
Wow, I feel like I'm having a visitation. I know you love Johnny Carson. Did you ever do the Carson show?
I did. I had the chance to do Johnny before he retired because I had done a TV movie of the week for NBC about Jim and Tammy Baker. You remember the religious couple?
Yeah.
So I played Jim Baker, and he had a big field day with them over the years, so he wanted me on the show. And he was going to let me do my impression because he apparently didn't like people who did impressions of him, but he'd seen a tape of me doing it because I was quite young, and I used to do it in stand-up. And but it turned out that I was the last guest. And so I ended up having about a minute and a half on the show with a film clip, and we never got to the point where he was going to let me do the impression.
Oh.
But actually, it was kind of worth it because in the commercial break, after we went to the commercial, he leaned over and he said, "Listen, I'm really sorry we didn't get to the bit. I was looking forward to seeing that, but I couldn't get the old woman to shut up." And Robert Klein decides to be funny for the first time in 6 years. Who knew?
It's heartbreaking for Robert Klein mostly, but
Mostly for Robert Klein. Did you ever do his show?
I was on the Carson show one time when I was a teenage magician.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen it?
No, we were unable to get the tape of that.
Well,
but,
oddly enough, because I don't know if you know, last year I narrated the documentary about Johnny Carson.
Mm-hmm. I am aware
on
of that.
PBS. It was a terrific show.
It was great.
So I'm actually quite close to the estate.
I see.
And we have tracked down your clip.
You have.
Yeah, now look. We can't show it here for legal reasons, but right now, on my website, kevinspacey.com, if people go to it, they will see your clip with Johnny Carson.
Wow,
tonight.
that is miraculous.
It's
on your
extraordinary.
website,
On my website.
kevinspacey.com,
That's right.
there's a clip of me on the
you.
Johnny Carson
That's
show.
right.
If only I had something like that for this show here.
I'll tell you what, if you're really nice for the rest of the interview, I'll download it for you.
Oh, well, thank you. I would appreciate that. And this is a brand new website of yours.
It is. We just launched it last week. And it's sort of just because over the last sort of 10 years, all the various strands of my life, I felt like I wanted to sort of bring everything to one place because a lot of people don't know I produced Captain Phillips or Social Network or that I run a theater in London. So I just sort of brought it all together.
Well, that's great. And but not only you have that going on, you're in one of our YouTube movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And well, you didn't know this? Yeah, you are in one of our YouTube movies. Kevin, well, I'm not going to give too much information on that because we are going to show that to our audience when we come back. Kevin Spacey is here. House of Cards is his show. It's our 9th annual After the Oscars special. We'll be right back.
Jimmy Kimmel Live After the Oscars is brought to you by Captain Morgan White Rum. White Rum has a new captain.
What's wrong?
It was him.
Who?
Freshman year.
You mean McGinnis?
Francis, please, don't do anything.
I'm not going to pin a medal on that.
You have to.
Just a minute, please. There is no way that man... Just a minute, please! He does not deserve a medal. I'm telling you, that man deserves to be taken out and shot.
I'm begging you.
No.
Please.
No. I said just a minute!
Do not make a scene, please.
That is Kevin Spacey in season 2 of House of Cards, which is available on Netflix. This is Jimmy Kimmel Live After the Oscars. We are live with Kevin Spacey. That's what a great show. I mean, You play a great villain.
He's an amazing character.
You
Really
must
is.
have some. You must be villainous in some way to play such a great villain.
Just how badly do you want to find out?
Not that badly. By the way, our selfie has already broken the record set earlier.
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic.
You know, they got 1 million in the first hour.
Yeah.
We got 2 million.
Wow.
That's right.
excellent.
So congratulations to us. And of course, on your website, kevinspacey.com,
yes,
you can see video of me on the Johnny Carson show when I was a teenage magician.
That's right, yeah.
Yes. What else is on that website?
Well, actually, I've just announced that I did a film. People may or may not know that I did a production of Richard III 2 years ago with Sam Mendes.
None of these people know, but
None of
yes,
these people
there are other.
But there are other people in the
cultured people
world
know.
that might know.
Mm-hmm.
Cultured people, you mean?
Exactly.
How quickly we turn.
He's talking about yogurt, everybody, okay?
Yeah. Free cameras for everybody. Anyway, Sam Mendes, who directed me in American Beauty, he directed me in Richard III, and it was a really unique experience where we had 20 actors, half of them from America, half of them from Great Britain, and we went around the world for 10 months and did Richard III in all these cities around the world, and I decided it was something worth documenting. So I made a film called Now, directed by a first-time director named Jeremy Whelan, and it's a really, for all those people that sort of say, oh, why do you do theater and why is theater important to you? This is a film that I hope answers a lot of those questions. It was an extraordinary experience to do, and it's a really intimate look at what it's like to be an actor in a company and go around the world and do classic work.
What country is the best country to do Shakespeare in?
Well, a lot of them were incredible. We were in Istanbul, we were in China, we were in Naples, Italy, we were in Spain, we were in New York, obviously, San Francisco, London.
And the audiences all appreciate it.
Well, they do, but although now in the world that we're speaking of, phones and cameras, we now live in a world where a lot of audiences like to I mean, literally,
oh, yeah.
I've seen this happen while I'm on stage and I'm working up there, and there's some guy, who's trying to film me. He's got a really...
Oh, that's not good.
He's loving it. And so I decided that I kind of had enough, and I began to yell at the audience in certain cities. And I think it was when I actually flipped someone off in the audience who took 5 flash pictures in a row. Even after I was going, stop it, put that down, put that camera down, literally saying it as the king. Oh, I never broke character.
No, of course not. Of course not.
But then the cast thought that maybe it was crazy for me to break the wall, so they bought me a green laser. And so I kept it in my costume, and I would just zap it on someone when they took a picture, and they would put it away because they thought there was like someone with a sniper gun who was going to take them out.
Now, I want to mention this because we are live right now,
yes,
and I do want to make sure we include this. You are part of a very exciting production, a production that we produced here at this show, and I believe you have somebody that you'd like to introduce.
I do. I'm very excited about this. Is this the final installment of tonight?
No, there's one more after this.
Yeah. All right. So this is in line with the wonderful YouTube.
Oh, don't tell anything about it.
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, okay, good.
No,
good.
I'm a guy who understands no spoilers. All right. Here to introduce this film, an Academy Award winner, the great Angelica Houston.